Hello guys, welcome to another Wonders Graphics tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to look at the pen tool. The pen tool is a very useful tool which is found in almost all the Adobe programs. So in this tutorial, we will look at how to use the pen tool for beginners. So if you don't know how to use the pen tool and you're a beginner, stick around and let's dive in. So the pen tool is used for creating paths and shapes, and from these paths and shapes, you can use it for creating logos, you can use it for creating designs, you can use it for creating vessel art, it can also be used for cutting out shapes, removing backgrounds, and a lot. And note that the pen tool works basically the same in all the Adobe programs which has the tool. So whatever you learn in this tutorial can be applied in all the Adobe programs which has the pen tool. So you can access the pen tool by pressing P on the keyboard or going to the tools and then selecting the pen tool. And then when you click and hold, you see other tools which are all these are similar to, they have similar uses as the pen tool, and we look at all these. Okay, and then you can set the pen tool up here. Okay, if you want to draw shape, you change it over, you select shape. If you want to draw path, you select path, and then you can change the color, the stroke, everything up here. And then come to this side, let's set how it looks. You can change the color of the lines. Let me demonstrate this. So let's say I set it to yellow, and you see I have a yellow line. I can change the color. So this is very useful when you are working with, let's say you are working with a blue image. You are making selection of a blue image, and your handles, your lines are also blue. It will be difficult for you to see the difference between the pen tool and then the image you are working with. So it's always good to change the color up here if the color matches with what you're doing. Okay, and then you can change the thickness here. If you can't see it, just increase the size. It's ideal to use a smaller size. Okay, so and then you can enable or disable rubber band. Rubber band is okay when you click and you are moving, the line moves along with the point. So I'll enable rubber band, and then let's start learning how to manipulate. So first of all, let's change here to path. We are going to draw a path. So the pen tool works using anchor points and then handles. Anchor points and handles. The anchor points, you use the anchor points and handles to create a path, either straight or curve. So let me demonstrate for you. This is what we call an anchor point. This is what we call an anchor point. It's a point, and then you can create another anchor point here. So between two anchor points is a line, which is a path. So this is a path. This is a path. I can continue creating. Okay, so basically I'm done. You always end at where you started. Okay, these are our straight lines, straight path. Okay, straight path. You can also create a curve. You can create a system straight, that is horizontal or vertical. Yeah, so if you want to create a horizontal path, just hold shift, and then you click, you release the mouse, and then release or shift. So if you want to create a vertical path, hold shift, and then you create our vertical paths, horizontal and then diagonal. Okay, so that is basically the pen tool. Okay, and then if you saw that I removed the selection, the path. So a path has been created. If you don't need it, just press escape 2 times on the keyboard. It will leave. Okay, cool. Or you can click on the move tool. It will leave. So that is how you create straight paths. Let's look at how to create curves. If you want to create curves, you click. Okay. So this is the beginning of our path. This is the next point of our path. Click and hold, and then you drag, and you introduce. These are what we call handles. These are handles. These handles influence the curve before and after the point. So let me disable the rubber band. So this handle is influencing this curve. It's affecting this curve, and then this handle also affect the next curve which we are going to draw. So now we can continue. If I click here, you see, so this handle is what affecting this curve. If I want to change how this curve looks, I'll go back to what hold this a handle and then adjust it. Okay, so this is how you create what. That's how you create curves. Okay, you click, you hold. Okay, you hold, you click and hold, and then you drag. Yeah, so this is a path. Okay, cool. And then if you want to adjust the curve, let's say you did this, and then you want to adjust the curves, hold Control and then click on what? A path. You see the handles are back. You can move this point, anchor point, you can move it towards distort the shape anyhow you want it to look. You can what? Move it around. And then you can also change how the curve looks by holding Control, click on what? The anchor point, and then you can start what? Moving it. Click on the handle, handle. You can see I can adjust what? The look of what? The curve. So hold Control, click on what? The handle, and then oops, I didn't hold Control. Step back, hold Control, click on what? The handle, and then you can start what? Moving it around. You can start moving it. You can also use what? Alt. Click on the handle, and then you can also what? Move it out. If you use Alt, I hope you can see what is happening. Cool. So that's basically how you adjust what? The curve. That's how you adjust the curve. You can also do this. You can move the anchor points anyhow. And if you want to delete an anchor point, you can delete any of these points. Let's say these are what? 3 anchor points. I want to what? Delete them. Just hold what? Control, click on an anchor point, and then press what? Delete on the keyboard. You see it's gone, right? So that's how you delete an anchor point. Okay, you can also add an anchor point. So now suppose I want to continue with this path. You see I started creating a path, and then it has what? Created a new path, because this path has what? It has been discontinued. So if I want to continue that path, what I'll do is that I go close to the path, hold Control, and click on what? The path. So if I click on this anchor point, it reveals what? It opens up for me to continue. So now I can, oops. Now I can continue. Okay. Yeah, so if you click somewhere or you leave the handle, and then now it has been what? Deselected. If I start creating to create a different place, that's not what I want. So what I'll do is that I press Control plus Z to what? Step back. That's what I'm doing. So basically what I'll do is that you come close to what? The edge of the shape, the path, and then you see that you find a small box underneath what? The 2, and you find 2 lines. It means what? Continue the path. So when you click, it will open up, and then you start continue. You can also continue from up there. Okay, you can continue from the other side. Yeah, so that is basically how it works. So you have to practice so that you get what? How to draw different curves and all that. Okay, so let's say I've drawn this path, and I want to add other what? Anchor points. I want to add other anchor points. You can add other anchor points by going close to what? The path, and then you click. You see a new anchor point has been created. A new anchor point has been created. Okay, sometimes you may create some points, and then you need more anchor points in order to get your curve. So you can add additional anchor points. Okay, cool. And then if you want to delete an anchor point, check up here if you have what? Auto add or delete selected. If it has not been checked, if you click on the line, it will be hard for you to add new anchor points. Okay, unless you use the add new anchor point to, which is here. Okay, and if you want to delete to, if you haven't checked this box, unless you come here and select what? and delete anchor point, then you come and click on it. Okay. Or without this, if you want to delete an anchor point, just go close to the anchor point, right click, and go to what? Delete anchor point. Okay, and then the anchor point will leave. Okay, so that's how you delete an anchor point. But if this is checked on, when you hover on the anchor point, you see the sign beneath the pen tool will change to what? Minus. If you click, you start what? Deleting. You start deleting the anchor point. Okay, and if you want to add, just click anywhere you add. Anywhere you add. Okay, so that is basically, you want to deselect. If you want to clear this path, just press escape, and it's gone. Okay, so let's look at, now I've drawn this shape, and then I realized, oh, I didn't what? I wanted to create curve, but I forgot. So now let me create what? Curve. These are straight what? Path. If we want to curve it, what you do is that you hover what? Close to an anchor point, press Alt on the keyboard, Option on the Mac, and then click start what? Dragging. You see, I have introduced what? A handle. There was no handle, but I press what? Alt and then click on an anchor point and start dragging. Now an anchor point, a handle has been what? Created. Please don't be confused. Don't confuse handle with what? Anchor point. Handles are, this is what we call handles. They are used to adjust what? The curves. And then the anchor point is what? The points which what? Form part of the path or the line. Okay, so if I want to add a handle here, I'll just hold Alt and then click on this, start dragging, and here to have what? A handle. Okay, so that's basically how it works. Okay, that's basically. And then if you want to remove a handle, let me talk about that one. You want to remove a handle, hover close to what? The same anchor point which was handle, press Alt, hold Alt and then click. Now the handles are gone. It has been converted to what? Straight what? Paths. Over here too, you can what? Remove the handles. Okay, cool. So basically that's how you make what? Path. So now let's look at how to create what? Let's create a selection with what? The pen tool. I'll go ahead and load an image, and then we make selection with what? With a pen tool using what? That image. So let me just pick this. I got this image from Unsplash. The link is in the description, so if you want to download this image, just go there, you get it. Okay, though this is an image. We're going to what? Cut out this bowl with the fruits. Okay, so what we do is that always, if you want to cut out using the pen tool, the best thing you have to do is what? Select what? Start from corner. Start from what? A corner or a point. And I zoom in using what? Control plus Alt, and then I use what? My mouse wheel to scroll in. You can also press what? Control plus space, and then you click to zoom in. Okay, cool. And then if you want to pan around like this, just hold Control and then use what? The scroll wheel to pan around. Okay, to pan around. Cool. So now we want to what? Select this, cut out this fruit and bowl. What we do is that we start from this corner. Okay, so we will click here. We've created an anchor point, and then we want to what? Go this way. Okay, if you realize your curve you have a very match curve, what you do is that you create multiple anchor points so that what? You get a curve right. Okay, so over here I'll just click here and drag. Okay, you can see it has what? It's uniform, it's perfect. So this anchor point will influence what? My next curve. So I'll go around and then click here and what? Set it. Okay, you can move the anchor point. If it didn't fit well, you can move it around and you set it. And let me adjust this. Okay, then you move ahead. Okay, then I want to adjust the button. I'm holding Control. I click on a handle and then position it well. Okay, then I move on. So I can click here. Zoom out. and then hold here. I want to adjust the angle up there. Cool. So you move on, and then this handle is going to affect what? The next curve. So look at how it looks. Okay, I think I'll just leave it here, and then you can adjust it. Okay, I didn't create a handle, so I want to create a handle. To create a handle, hold Alt and Hot. Click on the anchor point, start what? Dragging. Now a handle has been created. Okay, I've created a handle for here. Okay, cool. So let me adjust this. It's not bad. You can create another anchor point here so that we get what? The curve right. Cool. So now you can see trying to get the curve right. Trying to get the curve right. Yeah, that's it. And then over here too, I can create another anchor point here. Bring it down. Okay, cool. So we will continue with the selection. Now we're going up here. I'll put on here. You can take your time to do it, or you can just what? Go faster. Okay, you can go quickly. If you go quickly, what happens that you may not get the perfect selection you are looking for. Even though there's nothing like perfect selection, you can get what? You can get a very good selection if you take time with what? The pen tool. Cool. So this, you basically understand how we use what? The pen tool for selection. So I'll fast forward this part, and then when I'm done with the selection, I'll come back to you. So now the selection has been made. I have made a path around the bow and the fruit. So now I can remove the background from it, or I can cut this out. Okay, let's go in and then unlock our background layer. You click on the background. If yours is locked, unlock it, and then so you go to. We want to cut out the background. So now a path has been made around the bow and then the fruit. We can convert it to a selection by right clicking. If you are using current versions of Photoshop, you find here. You see an option. You have selection, you have marks, you have shape. You can convert to shape. So right click on the path, and then you can see many options here. Create vector mask, delete path, custom shapes, a lot. So just go to make selection. Okay. Then you have feather. Feather is basically blur. You blur the edges, and then new selection, and then click OK. So you can see a selection has been made. So now we can cut Ctrl+X. You see it's out, and then we can paste it Ctrl+V. Then we can you can just hide the background. So basically we've done that. Or we can use marks, layer maxing. Just click on this. Good. And the background is gone. Now we have our shape, our bow and fruit. Okay, you can see the selection is it was not bad. I didn't take time to fine tune it. Okay, you can just take time and then adjust draw the curves very well. Okay, so that's how you make selection and cut out with using the pen tool. Okay, so apart from using making selection out of the path, you can also stroke the path. You can use that to create vessel arts. Mostly when you're doing vessel arts, you can use that to create vessel arts. You can use it to create a lot of things. You can use it to create letters, designs, and a lot. Okay, so let me demonstrate that. So let's say I want to put a smile on the orange. I'll just do something like this. Okay, and then I have a path. This is not a good path. Let me create a better path. Okay, so I have this path. I can stroke this path with a brush, a custom brush, any kind of brush. Okay, I don't like this brush, so I'll just set my brush up. Let me apply and pen pressure. If you are using graphics tablets, all this, and then Let me change the spacing. So after the selection, you right click. Okay, I was just setting up what the brush, the brush size, and then how it looks. Okay, yeah. So you right click and go to what stroke path here, and then you select what brush, because I set up the brush. That's what I want to stroke with. So if I select brush, that the brush preset which I did, that brush setting I did will affect the path here. Okay, I enabled what pen pressure, so I'm going to stimulate pressure here. Okay, and then look at it. So if you want to hide this and look at the actual work, press Ctrl plus what H to hide it. It's still there. It's not deleted. The path has not been deleted. It's still there. Okay, so sometimes you may hide a path and then you will find it difficult. Press Ctrl plus H to reveal it back. Okay, yeah, cool. So I don't like this color. I'll just go back. And I'll change the color of what the brush. Yeah, let's say black, right? Then I'll stroke it again. Cool. So you see, basically, I've made a what? I've done stroking. I can put an eye here. Okay, stroke that one too. Just playing around. Okay, stroke this one too. Okay, so delete strokes. So you can create what? Path. You can create path using what? The pen tool, and then after that you can stroke what? The path. Okay, so you can stroke the path to get what? A line. So in this way, you see the line I created is what? This line, right, was created using what? The pen tool, but the stroke came from what? The brush. Okay, cool. So this is very useful when you are drawing vessel arts. When I start doing a tutorial on vessel art, you see how I'll use this stroking path to what? Outline the outline of an image very nicely. Okay, so that's how you draw path with the pen tool. So now let's look at how to create custom shapes using what? The pen tool. If you want to create a shape with a pen tool, go up here and then set this to what? Shape. Okay, and then you can change the fill color, the stroke, and then a lot here. Okay, so one thing you have to know is that every shape you create with the pen tool is what? It's a vector shape. Vector shape or vector images are created, or they are based on what? Mathematical expressions. They are made up of mathematical expressions. Okay, and then we have what? Raster images or raster shapes. Raster images are made up of what? Pixels. Okay, so the vector images, what happens is that when you expand them, the vector shapes, when you expand them, contract them, play with the dimension, it doesn't what? Pixelate, or it doesn't lose what? Pixels, or it doesn't lose resolution. It doesn't lose its sharpness. It still stays what? Sharp. Okay, but for raster images, if you expand them, contract them, play with the size, you realize that it will lose what? Details or sharpness. You understand? The pixels will start what? Losing details, and then the image will look what? Bad. Let me demonstrate what I'm talking about. So I'm going to create what? A shape layer here. Let me create this box, this layer box. Something like a square. Okay, this is a vector shape. Let's look at how sharp it's very sharp. Okay, if I increase the size, Ctrl plus T to bring about free transform to. Now I'm going to increase the size. and then let's look. It's still sharp, right? Let's decrease the size. And then look at it, it's still sharp. So let's increase the size back to normal once again. It's still sharp, nothing has changed. It hasn't lost any quality. If you zoom in, it's still there's no pixels showing over here. Okay, this is made up of what? It is based on mathematical expression, in that when you start expanding, it will just be multiplying the equation. This has like equations and stuff. It will be multiplying them by constant numbers. Okay, so that everything will be retained. Now let's look at a raster image. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to convert this layer to a raster layer, and then we play with it exactly the way we play with a vector shape. Okay, so to rasterize the layer, right click on the layer and then go to rasterize layer, or convert it to you are converting it to pixel layer, pixel based. So now it has turned towards a raster image. You can see the shape, or how the thumbnail of the layer looks has changed. At first there was a little box here showing that it is a vector. Now there is no box, so this a raster layer. Now let's transform it. Ctrl+T. Let's decrease the size. Now let's increase the size. Ctrl+T again. So I would just want to increase it uniformly. I'm holding Alt. Okay, let me just leave it because someone will see, because I'm holding Alt, that's why it's pixelated. Let's increase it just as we increased the other one. We did this and then we did this, right, and then okay. Can you see difference? Look at this side. It has started becoming blur. It has started becoming blur. Let's continue. Let's decrease the size again, and then increase the size again. Can you see what has happened? Look at the edges. The edges they look blur. They've blurred out. Okay, so this is a raster shape. What happens is that when you are pressing it and then expanding it, the pixels, they squeeze and then they expand. They don't increase. So as you are squeezing and expanding, you are losing details. Okay, cool. So that is a raster and then a vector shape or layers. Okay, so the pen tool creates vector shape, as I said. So if you want to create a shape, just like you create path, the same way. Just click, hold to introduce a curve, and then you continue. Okay, yeah. So this is a shape. You can add fill here. You can increase the size of the fill here. Okay, this is a shape. You can create many shapes, multiple shapes. Okay, so if you want to create many shapes, let's say I'm creating another shape here. And then let me change the color. And then the fill to black. You can see I have two shapes. Okay, if I create another shape, it will come on a new layer. So what you do is that if you don't want every shape to come on a new layer, go up here, click this, and then select combine shapes. Okay, what will happen is that if you create a new shape, it will form, or it will be part of the old layer. They all stick to one layer. They all stick to one layer. And then if you change the color, you see if you change something, it will affect all of them. It will affect all of them. Okay, so that is that. That's how you create a shape. So you can create custom shapes using the pen tool. Yeah. Okay, so let's also look at, just create something using what. So let me try creating something like a leaf. Let me draw a leaf. So I click and hold. Okay, something like a leaf. Let me cut this. So I've cut that handle. I hold Alt and then click to cut the handle. Okay, then I think this looks like a leaf, right? Good. Which leaf is this? What plant has this leaf? Let me know. Leave a comment in the comment box. Okay, which plant has a leaf which looks like this? So I've drawn the round. Let me draw the margins. Something like this. I think the margins should come from outside, right? Okay, so I want to combine all this on one. So let me select this and then I'll start creating. So you get the idea, and then let me change. Have you seen a black leaf before? I haven't seen one before. So leaves are normally green. Then this can be a bit yellowish or brown sometimes. So this is basically a leaf, right? So you can use the pen tool to create a lot of custom shapes. You can see this one. I was just making it rough. You can take time and then do it smoothly. Then apply shadows. That's light and then dark. Using the pen tool, you can draw lighter shapes, darker shapes to create shadows. Okay, cool. Now let's look at how to use some of the other tools related to the pen tool. We have this free transform tool. This one you just use your hands, free. Okay, it doesn't create anchor point, you draw. So if you have a graphics tablet, you can use this to create shapes. Okay, you can use this to create shapes. Let's say I want to draw the same leaf. If I have a graphics tablet, this one is very handy. Okay, cool. I don't really use this. And then we have other tools. We have curvature tool. Let me show you the curvature tool. It's very, very useful. Very, very useful. So let's say I want to draw a heart. Okay, I want to draw love. What I do normally is that I introduce grid lines. Okay, I create grid lines. So let me show you how to create grid lines. grade. So now I have this grade. You can create your own grade. Okay, you can create your own guidelines. Yeah, that's the right one. You can create your own guidelines, or you can use what? Just use grade. So I'm trying to create what? Love. I click here, and then if you want, I click here. This is what? A line. Now look at what is happening. You see, it is what? Curving. It is curving, right? Cool. So that is the curvature tool. That one is used for creating what? Curves. If I don't want it to curve, I will double click. Okay, so I'm trying to create a heart one here, and then you see the next one is still what? Curving. It's still curving. So here, and then I go on. I need one here opposite to the other one. Okay, and then I'll go on. One should be here, right? Yeah, that's opposite to the other one. And then the last one should be here. Cool. You see what happened? So what I'll do is that the last one, I'll double click so that it doesn't what? Create a curve, or it doesn't create a curve. It creates what? Straight. So that this one is an anchor, not what? A curve. Okay, so let me hide the grid. Now you see I've created a heart. I've been seeing a green heart before. Hearts not green. Yeah, let me just leave it this way. So basically you can create many shapes. You can use the pen tool to create logos. Okay, so just understand how it works. Okay, so let me do a recap. What we did is that we said there are other tools here. These tools are basically similar to what we do. We use this to add what? Anchor point, delete anchor point, convert a point to what? A curve using what? Introducing handles. But we can just do this using what? These tools. So these tools, nobody use them. I don't use them. Cool. So let's recap everything. Okay, we said you click and then you get an anchor point, and then you click and get an anchor point. Okay, if you want a curve, you click and hold, and then the handles will come. If you want to move an anchor point, hold Control, click on the point, and what? Move it around. Okay, if you want to move a handle, hold Control or Alt, click on the handle, and what? Adjust the handle. Always this handle influences what? This line. This handle influences what? This line. Okay, if you want to delete an anchor point, go close to the anchor point. You see that the sign will change to minus. Click once, it will delete. Or hold Control, click on the anchor point, and then press delete on the keyboard. It will delete. If you want to add an anchor point, go close to what? Point the tool to what? The line, the path, and then click. Add what? Anchor points. Okay, so that is basically what the use of the pen tool. Also know that I was creating this shape. You can use what? The shape tool to create some of these shapes. Okay, ellipse tool and all that. I have a video which I talk about all this. Okay, it's up here. So if you haven't seen it, a complete introduction to Photoshop for beginners. If you're a beginner and you are a bit confused about what we are doing, I think you should go back to the introduction video and then watch it. It's going to help you a lot. Okay, so guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like the video, make sure you click the thumbs up and then click the subscribe button. If you have any comment, any question, leave it in the comment box. I'll try to attend to you and then as soon as possible. Okay, love you guys. Peace out. Bye.